All right, who wants to start? Not those who are eating.
Start, V.
Well, I'll start. Well, Linda, you need to think of yours, I guess, because it was a couple of weeks ago.
Got mine in front
That
of me here.
was, we create healing every time we see oneness. We are being called to be godlike. Oh, see our brothers and sisters as God's sons. See only their loving thoughts as their reality. And I have been testing myself with that, with like it's easy with people in person because I guess I'm just surrounded by lovely people. But you watch what's going on over there in the US with you guys and Trump and Epstein files. So that becomes quite interesting, trying to do that with those people in mind. And it's kind of working a little bit because,
Hey, Wendy.
they, yeah,
Hi.
hi, Wayne. They've arrived here in whatever state they've come here to be, and that's what they're being, and it's accepting them for what they have to do, and somehow, I guess, not take it personally.
Mm,
That's what I'm taking.
yeah, nice.
So, Wendy,
My
welcome.
Thank you so
yeah, Wendy,
much.
welcome.
Lovely to meet you all.
Lovely to meet. Well, lovely to see you again.
Yeah.
Likewise.
So Wendy did the 5-day challenge with Gary. So that's how we met. And
Yes.
so what we do here with the Course in Miracles, when we start the call, we go through what we've been through for the week with whatever we picked up from the last week. We generally pick up a quote and then um, we'll practice that during the week. So we start off talking about that. We're about, what are we up to? About 200 and something on page 200 and something from the actual text. And it's taken us, about 3 years to get here. We don't have to hurry.
No,
When we
not at
finish,
all.
start all over again. Because it'll all look different by then. So yeah, during the
Mm,
call, we'll just read through the text and share our aha moments. And if we've got questions, we try and help each other understand what's trying to be said. So I've just shared what I got from last week. Linda hasn't been here for a couple of weeks. What have you got, Linda? Do you remember?
Uh, yeah, so a couple of weeks ago, that was on the 4th of February. Um, Believe that the truth is in me, for I know that it is in you.
How'd you go with that, Linda?
Just thinking about that. Um, no, I think pretty good. Um, with the people that you're around the most, just having that on board, just having said it, not always conscious of it, but you can actually see differences and also in the way that things are conveyed verbally. So I find that my conveyance in verbalizing something has a difference to it. So it can be a calming or it can be a uplifting. So, but that's, I mean, again, that's just something that you've got to keep working on all the time, don't you? It's not just you still fall into the pit sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, I do.
Are you talking about like your choice of words?
Yeah, I think so. I think believing more in myself because I can't change what other people think, say, react, all those sorts of things. So as long as you're believing in yourself, loving yourself, then that just radiates out.
Beautiful.
Hmm.
I love that. Carly, how did
What?
you go?
All right. I had we heal together as we live together and love together.
Nice.
Yeah. So and then I'm just like we do we need to heal if we don't believe in illness, sickness, well, not believe in it, but don't be with it.
Hmm.
Because there's quite a lot of that in the course, isn't there, of sickness being untruth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But we can live together and love together, whatever we're doing, which is also sometimes it's letting people go.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're not living and loving with everyone.
Yeah.
I reckon. We love them
That
from a
is the
distance.
truth.
Wendy, have you studied A Course in Miracles at all?
No, it's all new to me. So
Ah,
I believe in miracles, but yeah, it's all new to me. So thank you.
Would you like a little explanation of how it came into being, Wendy?
I would love that. Thank you.
So, many years ago, there was his name is Bill Thetford, and I cannot ever remember the name of the woman who actually channeled the work. Um, but they were two people, and I wish I could remember her name. Vidi, do you have
I'm
that
just
handy?
I'm just having a look now.
I don't think it's in the book because it's
It wouldn't be in the book because she
no,
wouldn't
definitely
claim
anonymous.
ownership of it. But
Helen.
Helen.
Helen, that's right.
And
Mm.
They were
Chapman,
both
yeah.
psychiatrists in a psychiatric hospital, and they vowed to find a better way because they were so disgusted by the medical treatment of people with mental illness. And so Bill Thetford was Helen's supervisor, and Helen came to him about a month and a half later and said, I think I'm going crazy because I am compulsively writing all night. I have this voice that comes to me, and I have to write out everything that it's telling me. And she says, because she was a Jewish atheist, so it wasn't like she was this, deeply devoted Christian woman.
Mm.
So she kept writing and writing and writing and writing. And Bill asked to see the work that she was bringing into the world, and he said, "You have to finish it. Whatever, you have to finish it, because the Course in Miracles, when you read it, you absolutely know that someone that has no ego has
Mm.
written this work. It's really sacred writing in a way like I've never heard. It says the same truths over and over and over again, but in a variety of different ways, because the truth is pretty simple, but our minds, of course, have a complexity to how they make meaning out of things. So the Course in Miracles says it in a number of different ways to appeal to the intellect of as many people as possible to try to make a breakthrough. So it's a very, very powerful work. I think it's probably I think it is the most important literature that's been written in the last 2,000 years, actually.
Hmm. Thank you.
It's incredibly beautiful, and it puts the testament of Christ's teachings in a completely different context,
Hmm.
especially when you read the resurrection and the crucifixion. It is like 180 degrees different than what Christianity has interpreted it to be,
Wow.
and it's quite powerful. So we've been studying it now for quite some time. I used to teach the Course in Miracles to people with AIDS, so they would have a spiritual practice to practice as they were facing death, and so it's very close to my heart, the Course in Miracles, and we all came together and we started reading it, and we're just like, well, we can't stop now, so we just keep showing up and reading over and over and over again. And it's been a really wonderful thing.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome. I'll go ahead and tell mine. Mine was God, teach me the reality of what I perceive in my brother. And I did pretty good with it practicing it. I found myself, I forget, I was probably watching the news and I started like getting quite judgy. Oh, it's only because you're building more detention centers in the United States to incarcerate like a prison camp, more immigrants. And so I got a little worked up and I said, okay, God, teach me the reality of what I perceive for my brother. What that does for me is it returns because part of the Course in Miracles is they say looking through the eyes of the Holy Spirit, which simply means looking through the eyes and seeing the divine in every person and in everything. So the whole scheme of separation and fear and scarcity, it kind of boils down to that when we are judging and we are condemning the creation around us, it becomes quite it hurts the judger. It's like you can't perceive separation and be at one. So when you see only at one ment, then you stay more in that state. And I heard of this really great metaphor. I wanted to share it with you guys tonight. Um, like humanity is a bit like the educational system. You start off in preschool, you go to your
We call
kindergarten
it grammar
years,
school here.
grammar school, go to grammar school, then you go to middle school, then you go to high school, then you go to college, then you go to a PhD program or a master's program. So there's all these different levels of education. And this isn't a new metaphor, but the way this one gentleman explained, I thought was very clear and very understandable. He said every single person is in a different grade of the soul. Like we are in the university and educational system of the soul. And some are very young souls. Some are just in kindergarten. You can't expect them to behave and act and know what someone in a PhD program knows. So your capacity to judge another, having no idea what evolution of the soul they're in, is ludicrous because it's like taking a kindergarten and expecting them to be in a PhD program because they can't be there. They can't even see that far ahead. So it's really best for us to know that this is a place where peace will probably never be because there's so many different levels of souls that are interplaying with one another. But individually, we can be at peace. And that's a quest.
Hello, Jane. Welcome back.
Hi, Jane.
Hey, Jane.
I like that. I really, really like that. It's simple, but it strikes a chord and
Yeah,
it puts it's so succinct and it just puts it right. Thank you for that.
you're welcome.
Jane, did you have anything you wanted to share from the last time that we caught up about how your lesson was for the last time? I can't remember. Was it a couple of weeks ago?
Let's see. Yeah, um, I've been um, I've been focusing on my spirit. The words are my spiritual inheritance. Um, and it almost fits what Gary, what you were just saying, um, from my prior life, um, or my prior schooling, or whatever it happens to be. Um, my spiritual inheritance, my family, and so on, and being mindful of the abundance and the ever presentness of God is the the is the cord that runs through it. So that's kind of been my like my mantra
Hmm.
is is being mindful of my spiritual inheritance and what I'm passing down to others in my family.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thanks.
Yeah.
And something that came up a few weeks ago that I think might be helpful for Wendy, because I would have loved to have thought of it from the beginning, was that Christ isn't necessarily Jesus. It doesn't use the word Jesus in here. It's Christ,
Mm.
and we all want to be Christ-like, which is sort of, for me, it even makes it more possible to be Christ-like when you don't have to try and be Jesus.
Yeah, it's a good point because we were
Thank
talking
you.
about it never actually mentions Jesus in here at all, does it? It's just always
No.
Christ-like.
And
Yeah.
I hadn't noticed.
Yeah. It's
Thanks,
always about the
Carly.
Christ consciousness that we all have the capacity to reach and embrace and demonstrate. Remember that one quote that I got so attached to. God is as dependent on me as I am on him, which means that God cannot be expressed unless we embody that and act it out and give that grace to other people. And I love that quote. So, yeah.
Mm. It's like
Beautiful.
the
So we start.
Christ.
Sorry, Jane.
I was just going to say the Christ is different from the man, Jesus, who walked the earth.
Right.
Mm.
You're going to say,
Right.
V?
I was going to say, let's start reading.
Yes, let's do.
So fast.
Where did we get up to?
I think we were on the last paragraph.
We're on the last paragraph of paragraph 11, section 8.
So paragraph 15.
Chapter 11, section 8, which is,
Yep, the problem and the answer. And then
yeah.
paragraph
So
15.
we're starting with number 15V. Is that true?
Yes, we're starting on the
Okay.
last paragraph.
Okay, I'll go for it.
Okay.
Would you not exchange your fears for truth if the exchange is yours for the asking? For if God is not deceived in you, you can be deceived only in yourself. Yet you can learn the truth about yourself from the Holy Spirit, who will teach you that as part of God, deceit in you is impossible. When you perceive yourself without deceit, you will accept the real world in place of the false one you have made. And then your Father will lean down to you and take the last step for you by raising you unto himself.
Beautiful.
So sentence 2, how many others? Put your hand up. Is a really weird sentence.
Well, this is one of those ones that is said in a number of different ways. We have to break it down. It said, would you not exchange your fears for truth? The answer would be yes, we would. If the exchange is yours for the asking. If God is not deceived in you, you can be deceived only in yourself. So the word deceived throws me a bit. Does anyone want to add any perception into what this one line means to them? If God is not deceived in you, which means I don't quite know what that means. You can be deceived only in yourself. So it probably means that God cannot be deceived in you. You can be deceived only in yourself, meaning you could decline, you could pretend you're not one in that holy alignment. Um, does anyone else have any insight in this? Because God is not deceived in us because, it is an ever-present force. You can be deceived only in yourself, which I take it to mean, yeah, I can definitely deceive myself.
Mm.
And then it's a yet you can learn the truth about yourself only from the Holy Spirit. So I want to pause there just for Wendy. Would you read the definition of the Holy Spirit?
Oh,
Sorry, what was your question?
sorry.
What was that?
What was the question that you had? Sorry, Gary, I didn't quite.
Oh, I wanted V to read the definition of the Holy
Oh,
Spirit
sorry.
because
Yeah,
it's different than traditional Christianity.
yeah, I'd love to know. Yeah, thank you.
The Holy Spirit. Here we go. Jesus is the manifestation of the Holy Spirit. Oh, it does mention Jesus, whom he called down upon the earth after he ascended into heaven, or became completely identified with the Christ, the Son of God, as he created him. This is quite long, by the way. The Holy Spirit, being a creation of the one Creator, creating with him and in his likeness or spirit, is eternal and has never changed. He was called down upon the earth in the sense that it was now possible to accept him, in capital being capital H, meaning God, and to hear his voice. His is the voice for God and has therefore taken form. This form is not his reality, which God alone knows, along with Christ, his real Son, who is part of him. So I can either keep reading it or I'll see if I can
No,
find it.
that just made didn't make it any clearer for me.
It didn't come up, did
So
it?
I should have just kept my mouth shut. I always experienced, I always thought the Holy Spirit, at least in my interpretation, was was that moment where I feel like one with God, in that instant where I feel one with God. Now, it could be completely different, and I may have a an immature interpretation of it, but that's how I've always taken.
Hmm.
Give me a mistaken impression, failed to attempt oneself. Thanks for the comments in the chat, Joe. Appreciate it. Does anyone else have a view of the Holy Spirit?
I kind of
Because that,
just feel like it's saying that we will make all this stuff up about ourselves and our world and people around us and what they're doing. But God is not deceived by any of that. He just sees the oneness and the unconditional love of us.
yeah,
Hmm.
I'll take
Yeah,
that.
but if I can just add a little bit from my
Please.
understanding, um, I I love the fact that if we believe that God was our creator, um, he clearly, if you create something, you're not deceived by what you create, are you? You're absolutely delighted in it. Yet the
Mm,
thing that was created, if it goes, oh, I don't believe that the one that created me did a good job, or that I'm really not this or I'm not that. I'm thinking that that is possibly what's being said here, um, because that thing that has been created is not believing. So that to me says you're not. That thing that is created, yeah, is not understanding its intention of why it's created, um, or why it is to be. Um, and then the other thought that I had around the Holy Spirit, which is, I suppose, more of a Christian aspect, but it's just part of what one would call the triage, or there's
mm.
three parts of there's the God, then there's Jesus and the Holy Spirit, and in that relationship, everything's made in relationship. So it's interesting that that first part is made in relationship. But if God is not deceived in you, that He's trying to create a relationship there. um, I don't know if I'm making any sense, but there just seems to
Yes.
be relationship focus throughout all of that. Hmm.
Well, that's a really interesting perspective. And that's why we all meet, because we're all going to have some level of perspective to be able to understand these things, these statements. in a different, more complete way. Does anybody else have anything you want to say or ask about this paragraph?
I remember when we were talking about the Holy Spirit before, and we kind of worked out from what I took from it, is that the Holy Spirit is kind of like the channel of communication with God. That's what it kind of felt like.
Mm,
Yeah, I
Mhm.
remember that conversation.
mm.
Great. Anything else on this one?
Not for
We
me.
start a brand new section. I used to have, oh, here we go. Chapter 12, the Holy Spirit's
We're
curriculum.
yes, we're jumping right into the Holy Spirit and going deep now.
Yes. Good thing we had a bit of a preamble on that before then. That's quite a big paragraph. I usually read that, but does anybody else want to jump in?
I will, if you don't
Good on you,
mind.
Linda.
You have been told not to make error real. And the way to do this is very simple. If you want to believe in error, you would have to make it real because it is not true. But truth is real in its own right, and to believe in truth, you do not have to do anything. Understand that you do not respond to anything directly, but to your interpretation of it. Your interpretation thus becomes the justification for the response. That is why analysing the motives of others is hazardous to you. If you decide that someone is really trying to attack you or desert you or enslave you, you will respond as if he had actually done so, having made his error real to you. To interpret error is to give it power, and having done this, you will overlook truth. Oh my God.
Wow.
That just resonates so
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
Wow. Okay, so that's my lesson for this week, that whole paragraph.
Oh, talk
Lucky
about
you've got
beating
the book.
yourself about the head.
It's
I
it's
love that.
another paragraph that you'll be highlighting, won't it?
I
Mm,
love that too.
Mm,
I love that analyzing the motives of others is hazardous to you.
Mm. That stood out
hmm
to me as well.
hmm
oh, yeah, that's like, there's just some paragraphs or some sentences in there, and this, for me, this is one of them. It's interesting.
Don't change it yet. I need to write stuff down.
Oh yeah, no, we're not going to hurry through this one. I love that bit. And to believe in truth, you do not have to do anything.
Yeah.
It kind of, it's one of the realizations I've had from doing this is that I don't need to do anything to be loved.
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't have to do anything to love myself. I don't have to jump through any hoops. It's just be,
Mm.
just accept.
Mm. Could I ask a question to that, Veronica?
Please, please.
Yeah.
And thank you for highlighting that. So, how has that altered the way you do life? That
It
beautiful
means
understanding.
it means I actually don't look outward for acceptance. I don't look outward for what other people think or do or judge or whatever has no doesn't really doesn't have much effect on me at all anymore. And it just means that I can I can be love without having to do anything or prove anything to anybody, including myself. And in that space, I can love others from the same position. They don't need to do anything. They don't need to be anything. They don't need to prove anything.
Incredible. Thank you.
You would be a very low maintenance friend, Veronica.
I think I have so many more down here now.
Well, we've been friends for how many years?
17.
Yeah,
I
at
worked
least
it out
that.
the other day. Yeah.
Yeah, a long time.
And you're probably the only one who realizes how much I've evolved since in that time.
I do realize that. Absolutely.
Mm,
Beautiful.
mm. Because it's funny, even family you'll always be whatever you are in the family unit. That's what I've found anyway. So, I'm always the little sister or the youngest or whatever in the family. So they don't often recognize the change.
Mm.
Hmm.
And that used to be quite frustrating too. But
Mm.
now I can just accept it.
Yep.
Do we want to go through anything else in that? We've written down everything we want to take from that one.
Yep.
And Wendy,
I just want to add,
I can share the link
I
with
was
you
just,
for where this is online. So you don't need to buy the book, but you can certainly buy the book as well.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah. Sorry, Jane.
oh no, no. I just wanted to add that when I understand this and let it just seep right in, it the, there's only one sentence. Why are you giving your power away? Why are you giving your power away?
Mhm.
Mm.
Wow.
And even the word power is, to me, it's just synonymous with being one with God. It's not true power. It's true ease and love.
Mm. Beautiful. Thank you, Jane.
Mm-hmm.
Shall we go on to number 2? Right.
Yeah.
Who wants to read number 2?
Okay.
Coralie.
The analysis of ego motivation is very complicated, very obscuring, and never without your own ego involvement. The whole process represents a clear-cut attempt to demonstrate your own ability to understand what you perceive. This is shown by the fact that you react to your interpretations as if they were correct. You may then control your reactions behaviorally, that word, but not emotionally. This would obviously be a split or an attack on the integrity of your mind, pitting one level within it against another.
I am going to love this whole chapter,
I
honestly.
think so.
Isn't it true? Yes.
Mm.
I feel a little bit of debriding happening.
Uh-huh.
Like you see those memes where they have people reading and highlighting all the important bits in the Course in Miracles and the whole page is yellow.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
This is so much where the world is, where many of us will like come in and out of this process all day long.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's so true. We can never understand what anybody else is going through, but we'll make stuff up about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
You might be able to help me on this, but from my understanding, the ego is part of the lower brain. space of operation, isn't it?
We've had lots of conversations about the ego, haven't we?
Yeah, we have.
Oh,
Sure have.
In the
Yeah.
context of this book. Yeah.
Right. I'll keep reading then.
Oh, that's all right. No, we can have another one because it's very
Yeah.
important standard.
so chapter 4 is the illusions of the ego, and that goes into all sorts of interesting
Oh, fabulous. Thank you.
information about the ego.
It's just
Mhm.
interesting language. Talks about how it is very complicated and obscuring. That's very deliberate language, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mhm. Right between the eyes.
Yes. We've labored over the language from day one. It's just so different to anything else you'll read. So
Yeah.
it
Mhm.
takes a bit of taking in. But it makes you think about how we're using the language and interpreting it. And there's words like ego that we use all the time. And it's like, well, what does it actually mean in this context? So it's always a great conversation to have.
And Wendy, even my man, because when we have these chats, usually that night, him and I will have a discussion about what we talked about and my interpretation of what was said and etc. So he actually downloaded the book on Audible.
Yeah.
And that day at work, he started listening to it. And then that night he said to me, nah. I said, well, you can't just read it on your own. It really is a group. It's got to be a group thing to be able
Right.
to understand one sentence can blow your whole mind if you're getting, this like a brainstorming session. What is it? How do we interpret that? But I said to him since, because this is months ago that he did that, but I said to him since, have you tried listening to A Course in Miracles again? He said, no way. So, yeah.
Oh,
It is a different language, though, isn't it? It's in English, but it's
Yeah.
a whole different language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, thanks for sharing.
Mm.
And I took about 4 attempts before we started reading this together, and it finally started coming together because I was whole anti-Christian, anti-religion. So all this talk about God and Christ was very difficult.
Yeah.
I
I
remember.
was the
Yeah.
same, yeah. Well,
So,
when we were going to start doing this, so this is for Wendy, because I think I've shared this with the others before, is I said to V, well, what do we want to do that for? What do we want to be talking about God for and the Holy Spirit and blah, blah, blah? And I said, we had a perfectly good group beforehand where we were having great discussions about everything. And I think, what was your comment, V? Something along the lines of, oh, we'll just give it a go or see how you go with it or whatever it was. So, but it only took up to like about 6 months ago, and we have been doing this for almost 3 years, where
Wow.
when I hear the word God, it doesn't offend me anymore.
Yeah.
So and that's only because of my upbringing and the way that my parents were and the way that reactions were when people talked about God. Oh, God, they're religious,
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's only about 6 months. Now, when I hear the word God or I say the word God, I don't have an issue with it at all. So it's
Wow.
really interesting.
Fundamental shifts. Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm.
So, has anybody got a succinct definition of what ego is in the context of this book? Or it doesn't need to be that succinct. It can go on forever. It doesn't matter. But
Ego is the idea of a separated self
That's
that
beautiful.
produces because we believe we're separate from God. We have fear. When we have fear, we to protect ourselves. When we attack another, we have to have fear because then we fear attack back. So ego is the perspective of a separated self.
Beautiful. Thank you, Gary.
Yeah, it's
Well,
very
Thank you.
nice. It's the 5-year-old within you.
oh, they could be older than that.
Could be the old man in you who needs protection and fearful.
Yes.
Does that help, Wendy?
Yes, no, just a beautiful, succinct definition. Thank you.
Hmm.
Number 4 is really standing out for me, actually. You may then control your reactions behaviorally, but not emotionally. That's pretty significant for me at the moment. That's quite an amazing statement.
Mm. Yeah, especially after doing the work, the 5-day challenge, I'd imagine.
Yes, Gary's
Yeah.
got me working hard every day, let me tell you, Gary.
Oh, we've just begun, Wendy. We've just begun.
Oh, it's been incredible, let me tell you.
I'm really
Excuse
happy.
my little laugh. I know being right, Wendy.
My only thing to V was I've not met you till recently, Gary. I don't know where you've been in my life. It's,
Well,
it's very
I
lovely.
hide out, and then once in a while I come to the surface and emerge and start
Okay.
teaching again and things. So I'm on a full tilt. I'm gonna go pretty full tilt this year.
Good. The world
Yeah,
needs you.
I'm gonna hold master classes for United States, Canada, Australia, then the UK and Europe in a couple weeks. I'll be doing that as well.
Beautiful.
So, yeah, I'm excited to do it.
Cool.
The world needs you.
And I need the world.
Mm.
Um, do we need to go through anything more with that particular paragraph?
Mm.
It was just a message from Joe there that he's got to go.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. My messages haven't come up on here. Oh, well. Thanks for that.
We said every loving thought is true.
Yes.
That's his words for
Beautiful.
tonight.
Pretty
Yeah.
good, eh?
Mm.
So who's going to read number 3?
I will.
Go
Good on
for
you,
it,
Jane.
Jane.
There is but one interpretation of motivation that makes any sense. And because it is the Holy Spirit's judgment, it requires no effort at all on your part. Every loving thought is true. Everything else is an appeal for healing and help, regardless of the form it takes. Can
Oh, that's
anyone be
good.
justified in responding with anger to a brother's plea for help? No response can be appropriate except the willingness to give it to him. For this and only this is what he is asking for. Offer him anything else, and you are assuming the right to attack his reality by interpreting it as you see fit. Perhaps the danger of this to your own mind is not yet fully apparent. If you believe that an appeal for help is something else, you will react to something else. Your response will therefore be inappropriate to reality as it is, but not to your perception of it. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That is big stuff.
I have a challenge for that one.
Do
Yeah?
you?
I kind of feel that sometimes I have given help and it's been the wrong thing to do because it's been enabling rather than helping them because they're stuck in the drama triangle. So they're a victim. And if you help them, in an inappropriate way, you're actually becoming the hero, and then you can only be the villain. You end up being the villain because you've helped them and they are determined not to be helped.
Yeah.
So I think helping is great, but I think how do I identify the best way to help someone when they're asking for it?
That's a good question.
Just be there. It's like when I took
Yeah,
my friend out the other day, there was no conversation around what was going on. It was just the mere fact that we were doing something for the day. I don't think, unless somebody actually asks for help, you can't help them. And especially if you're in a space of needing help as well, there's no way you can help anybody else.
I like that. And I guess as
Not
well, it's
saying that
ask.
I need help, probably, institutional help. But anyway, that aside, yeah, I think it's got to be about you first. You have to be the one first that you help.
I like that
Yeah.
just being there. And I also think probably clarifying what the cry for help is.
Mm.
It also it says right up near the beginning in sentence 2, and because it's the Holy Spirit's judgment, it requires no effort at all on your part.
Mm.
So that's not like,
It's not
I
like
don't
an
know,
effort.
yeah, I think it all
Yeah.
warrants a bit more
Different.
investigation, really.
But even that very short sentence, every loving thought is true. Every loving thought is true. So isn't that help as well to an extent?
Absolutely,
Yes.
it is.
Okay.
Absolutely, it is. In fact, sometimes that is the most important loving help to do a prayer for someone. You don't necessarily have to pick them up, but at minimum do a prayer for them. I mean, we have to remember like there is a resonant field that issues off of our body measurable by science out to 15 feet from our body that actually affects the vibratory resonance of another person's field. So if we're in a space to do a prayer and see the oneness and the perfection and the healing in that person, that is one of the best things that we can do for them. One of the very best.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I get it now. This is all about coming from love. And it's not about
Yep.
the real world and the things that go on. It's about coming from love and just being there.
Yep. Yep.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it
Thank you
also
for
mean
that.
that, because in the prior passage it talked a bit about perception, our ego perception. Ours would be slightly different, obviously, to the person in need. Um, so yeah, understanding what the help is really important, isn't it? Because there's so many different layers of help. So I love the fact that it could be just a prayer, or it could be just a elevation, or loving that person, or it could be an act of kindness. So there's just all these variables. It's fabulous.
And I do think, this is where if we stay out of the whirlwind of the mind and the separation and all the judgments that we could have, that we're in more of an open state to receive inspiration. And in that moment when there's something that is asking for help, we'll either we have to trust that we'll be inspired to do the help that's appropriate for that person. And it may simply be a
Absolutely.
prayer. It may be lifting that person up and sitting them down and buying them a meal. It could be any number of things. It's about what I think in that moment, if you're really opened, what you feel inspired to do at that moment and trusting that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anything else is the ego, though, isn't it? So as you
It
said
can
before,
be.
Gary, the ego is a separation of self. So
I mean, what if we were able to walk our lives in this resonance of feeling at one with God and seeing that in everyone that we saw, and we would receive inspiration on an automatic basis, and we wouldn't have to question whether it was the ego or not. It would just be that we're in the slipstream of that love and that connection. And if we can get there, I think that's the intent of the Course in Miracles, ultimately.
that's beautiful. Yeah, that's
Mm, absolutely.
so true.
Very helpful. Thank you.
I
Because I
think
haven't experienced it.
often.
Go,
Oh,
Jane.
go ahead, V. No, you
There you
go,
go.
V.
Because I haven't experienced
Okay.
it recently, but I know that in the past I've helped how I thought help needed to be, and it was coming from a place where the other person, where I perceived that. So I've helped in what I thought was appropriate, but it wasn't actually appropriate for the other person.
Yeah.
And that was coming from ego because I thought something needed to be fixed.
Uh,
Yeah.
maybe that's the key V, is that we see someone as broken, needing
Yeah.
to be fixed. Whereas if we saw them as at one, it would be simply adding to that rather than
Mhm.
taking away from
Yes.
I can't help but think that if I were sitting with someone who is telling me they're broken, or in any way, shape, or form, it's looking like that in whatever words you want to use. I'd be I'd be so compelled, and I can't help but wonder if maybe asking questions is a way of lifting that person out of the brain pattern that they're in that's brought them to where they are today. Something as, I want to say, simple as, have you ever thought, if you love you, do you love yourself? You know, what what's the answer to that for each and every one of us? Or do you shun it and say, "Oh, what's there to love?" Or oh, or I wish my parents loved me, or I have no love to give, or the the whole crux of the Course in Miracles is love. So let's just get to it, and let's be asking, um, how much do you love yourself? Don't you want to love yourself more? Do you not feel worthy? Or hear what they have to say about, where do you place love, loving yourself? Where does that get placed for you? Because I found that has really helped me to grow. It's like, especially when people like, oh my God, what, not Dorothy, what's her name? Oh, can't remember her name. But anyways, would say, go and sit in front of a mirror and say the words, I love you. And it was like, oh, I remember 25, 30 years ago, experiencing that and just being like, oh, do I have to? And then it's like, yes, it's your birthright, you know? Anyways.
Reminds me of the post you put up. Was it yesterday, V, from Alice in Wonderland,
Yeah.
saying, like, the white rabbit saying to her, well, not going to love you if you can't love yourself, basically, is what he was saying. And I thought, my God, I need to read that book again, the original book.
I don't think I've ever read it. So yeah, there's some real gold in there when you see
Yeah.
quotes come. So yeah.
Yeah.
I think my lesson this week is going to be, Jane, the whole crux of A Course in Miracles is love. So just get to it.
Oh.
I'm going to
Cool.
take Joe's one. Every loving thought is true.
Yeah, cool.
Mm.
I'm battling with myself, not harshly, but it's either I'm going to
Good for
stick
you.
with God teach me the reality of what I perceive in my brother, because in my opinion, that is the centerpiece of if I can reframe my perception of someone and be taught the truth about them, or at least ask that question, then I immediately go to, well, of course, they're God incarnate. They're in a different stage of their evolution, and there's no need for any condemnation or any judgment of any kind. And therefore, I save myself from the trap of seeing separation all around me. So I think I'm going to stick with that, because I find that the simpler I make the lesson, the better I remember it.
Yeah.
If I make it a long one, because mine was going to be every loving thought is true, everything else is an appeal for healing and help, regardless of the form it takes. That's absolutely true. But if I say, God, teach me the reality of what I perceive in my brother, this happens.
Mm.
This happens. So
Beautiful.
it's so interesting to me that all these things are quite simple from the perspective that it still comes down to the true temple is our relationship with one another. So the less I judge another, the more I can tap into the God within me. The more I judge another, the more fear I have, the less I can tap into that love, and then the greater separation and fear I walk around in. So it literally everything comes from, I love that quote, walking hand in hand into heaven with my brothers and sisters, which simply means I stop judging them.
Mm-hmm.
I've been really working on that, to stop judging.
Yeah.
And then there's those times where I want to let the air out of people's cars and scratch their keys with my own. Just kidding.
You're so naughty.
Yeah, that was my evil twin that spoke. You have to bring levity to separation. That's what I say.
You have to love your evil twin as well.
That's right.
Very true. I love my evil twin.
Who else has got their lesson for the week?
I do. I really like that every single person is in a different grade of the soul, of their soul. That helps me so much. So, thank you.
Lovely.
For me, just so many gems. I really haven't taken enough notes. But I think for me, the biggest takeaway, to simplify it, is the birthright that I have to be loved, to feel love, and to accept it. And there's no recourse in that. So that's been a really big highlight. So thank you.
Beautiful.
Very good highlight.
Nice.
You just feel like you're an old friend, Wendy, that should have been around here a lot earlier.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I
I
agree.
think so.
Thank you so much for the invite. It's been very, very lovely.
I'm glad you can make it.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Bea.
Yeah.
Linda, you look like you're ready.
Yes, to interpret error is to give it power. And having done this, you will overlook the truth.
Mm,
That is a judgment of myself too, by the way.
Yeah.
Hmm?
beautiful. Coralie,
And it's
did you give us yours?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. It was the same as Joe's. Every loving
Ah,
thought
that's
is
right.
true.
Yes, you did. Yeah,
mhm.
beautiful. All right. We're ready to hit the road for this week and report back next week. And I'll send you an
Sounds
email,
good.
Wendy, with things.
Thanks,
So
Good
Elsie.
luck,
ready.
y'all.
Okay.
Okay, thanks
See y'all later.
everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Mwah.